Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world famous Post-Up Podcast. This is Cyrus Rogers.
And this is Kaunda Chama, and I'm glad we're world famous.
Well, I mean, considering that, they did sing We Are the World, so I think this is as famous as it should get. But we're going to go right into the show. There's some really interesting stuff happening this weekend in particular. Senegal is where the NBA has really focused a lot of its attention because you've got Hoop Forum coming up now.
Yep.
And then Basketball Without Borders, the 2019 edition happening in Senegal. And then the WNBA All-Star Game happens on Sunday.
Cyrus, we're spoiled for basketball this week.
We really are.
I think let's just get right into it. Basketball Without Borders. Or should we go to Hoop Forum first?
I think let's talk about Hoop Forum. It's always an interesting thing. You've participated at a couple of these before, right?
Yes.
So,
Cyrus, it's always held in Dakar, Senegal.
Yeah.
And this year, coincidentally, Hoop Forum is taking place at the same time as Basketball Without Borders, which is being held there after... Last time it was held there was in 2010.
Okay.
And now Basketball Without Borders returns to Senegal after about 11 years. After 9 years.
Long absence.
So, Hoop Forum, that's where great basketball minds meet and they discuss everything from on the court and off the court stuff. Because, Cyrus, a lot of people think basketball just happens on the court, but they forget that, you got from table officials to refs, then you've got people that do the business around basketball, people who do the actual development around basketball development. So they talk about a lot of issues. They talk about the inclusion of the girl child, issues like that. So it's a place where great international minds meet and they discuss a whole host of basketball issues.
And considering that even with Basketball Without Borders, that's also a FIBA initiative as well. It's not just a primarily NBA thing. This is the NBA basketball family meeting and talking about issues that relate to everybody, boys and girls, men and women within the game, and trying to see how best to grow it, especially in the African continent. Because Hoop Forum, as far as I understand it, is really, like you say, about the people who make the game what it is. Mm-hmm. You have to have your scorers, you have to have your referees, you have to have your match day officials, and the guys who actually are in charge of what's happening in terms of the basketball environment. And so you have dialogue. There's a lot of
a lot of dialogues. They have roundtable discussions, Cyrus, and a lot of good information comes out of that because you have everybody from broadcasters, employees of the NBA themselves. You have people who work for the Seed Academy, which is big in Senegal. There's a development, a hub for basketball there in West Africa. You have international guests that come from either the NBA, come from FIBA. You have scouts that participate. You have so many different minds, Cyrus, that come together in one room and just discuss how the game can grow on the continent and what initiatives can be set up and what's working and what's not working, what needs to be improved on, and where can we make everything come together and work obviously for grassroots development and beyond.
And I think this is what's so important about growing basketball, because when we see things like the Malian basketball team doing well at different championships, and you've got the Afro-Can tournament happening at the moment. There's qualifiers happening for the FIBA World Cup. Basketball is a growing sport, and it is so encouraging to see people trying to get the best out of each other within these environments, because we always talk about this. We go to the junior NBA events, and we also see the youth basketball, and it really warms the heart to see these kids giving it their all, trying to get better, on the court. And then some of them realizing that maybe they might not become the next LeBron James, but perhaps they could actually become officials. What's really interesting is a friend of the Post-Up Podcast, Monique Curry. She has gone into officialdom. She's actually, becoming a referee.
Oh, wow.
And so her on-the-court activities don't necessarily end with her putting the ball in the hoop. It's about seeing what happens around that. And obviously she's also working with Nike in Seattle. But then another friend of the Post-Up Podcast, Benny Bonsu, who is a friend of a lot of people in the basketball circles. She really is so influential. She's at Hoop Forum at the moment in Senegal.
I was about to ask that. Is she in Senegal right now?
Yeah, no, she's in Senegal. She's there for Hoop Forum. She's also there for Basketball Without Borders. And her involvement in basketball and also the growth of girls and women's sport has been so central to what's happening, and it's become very impactful for a lot of people, because it's people like her, people like Amadou Gallo Fall, who understand that this can't just exist in its own ecosystem where we're the only ones talking about it.
No, absolutely, Cyrus, and we're gonna start putting in sound effects in the podcast pretty soon. So, like for Benny Bonsu, hand claps.
No.
Big hand claps for Amadou Galafal.
Yeah.
Hand claps, of course. Amadou Galafal, who will soon be announced as the president of the Basketball Africa League, and big ups to Amadou. Doing great things to grow the game on the continent. From all different levels, and of course Benny Bonsu. So I don't know what more I can say about this lady.
No, look, I think if we say any more, there might be questions. But I think the thing about a lot of people who love the game is that they give back to the game, and you see that globally. We've been so fortunate to be able to interact with people from up and down the African continent, from North Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, Southern Africa, but then also guys who are students of the game and love the game globally. Shout out to all of our friends and family in the UK, in the US, Australia. In fact, just listen, everywhere in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Basketball Without Borders, because the last few editions, and this has sort of been one of the elephants in the room that hasn't necessarily been spoken about, BWB was always tied in with the NBA Africa game. That's not happening this year.
No. I think there's just a lot of things happening at the moment.
Moving parts, stuff.
Prepping for the league, the new Africa League, and obviously other things happening stateside.
No, true, but it doesn't mean that the stars aren't coming out to shine, and that's what's great about BWB at the moment. Because, look at the guys who are headlining BWB in Senegal right now. You've got Joel Embiid in the mix, Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Bosh, Luol Deng, Gogi Jeng. These are really great names, including one of the young Africans to make their name in the league, and that's Taco Fall, who's currently...
Taco Fall has been great, in the Summer League. I thought, did you see that they even created a meme?
Yeah.
With LeBron James's family, the Taco Tuesday? Because there was a Tuesday where they were calling for the Boston Celtics to just sign Taco Fall.
Yes,
and they had LeBron going Taco Tuesday. I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
But, one of the guys who really needs to get a lot more attention for everything that he's done for African basketball, because he's a BWB alumni, is Luke Mbamute.
Your friend and my friend, Luke Mbamute. He was there at the first Basketball Without Borders.
2003.
2003.
But Dikembe Mutombo's there, and we love when Dikembe's involved. He loves giving back to the youngsters, and there are so many people who he has helped along the way. But even the female players who are going to be part of this, Astu Njai.
Astu Njai, that's a wonderful song. I love Astu Njai. I'm glad she's coming back. She's always there. Yeah. And another lady that we love, Clarice Machangwana, from Mozambique. She's doing great things to grow the sport in Mozambique and other African countries, and I think it's great to see them showing up.
Because this is what it's all about. This is when Africa is introduced to the rest of the world, and the world stars introduce themselves to Africa. And
hey, wait a minute, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Didn't Clarice play in the previous Africa game?
She did.
She suited up and she said, fellas, it is on.
Cash.
Her and Swing Cash are like, it is on, guys.
And they were fantastic in that game.
Oh, man.
But, guys like Pops Mensah-Bonsu will also be around. So you've got the executive level guys who are coaching. Elton Brand is going to be there. This is the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers, a former NBA player. Pops Mensah-Bonsu is the GM of the Capital City Go-Go, in the NBA G League. And when you look at the coaches who are going to be there, this is the thing that
I was going to mention
salivating at the prospect of these guys being there. NBA head coaches, you've got Brooklyn Nets head coach Kenny Atkinson.
Oh, man.
You've got LA Clippers head coach Doc Rivers.
Pause for a minute. Say that again.
LA Clippers coach Doc Rivers. Also, NBA championship winning head coach Doc Rivers. We've got to put that there. And David Fisdale from the New York Knicks.
Yep.
The names. And this is what's so beautiful about all of these guys who are going to be involved, including Raptors president Masai Ujiri.
No. Can you say that again? Championship winning.
NBA champions, Toronto Raptors, their president of basketball operations, Masai Ujiri.
He's going to
be there, yeah.
And let's not forget Patrick Mutombo, also a recent NBA champion.
Yeah.
With the Toronto Raptors. Cyrus, it looks like it's packed as usual.
It is, and all of the star players and star names are going to be there, giving some of their advice that they can give to the kids. And the thing about mentioning a Joel Embiid or even Lukumba Mute, is that
Yeah.
these guys are former campers.
Yeah.
They've been through this process. They know how important it is for the right advice to be given, and then also to say, I have made it out of this specific space. You can do the same.
You know what would have been nice, and I know it probably happened for very important reasons. It would have been nice if Pascal Siakam came.
Yeah.
Because Pascal Siakam is the complete story right now. BWB camper to NBA champion.
And I mean, we've even left out that BWB camper Gogi Jeng.
Oh yeah,
is
BWB
also,
camper Gogi Zhang is there too, yeah.
And I think it's that people see that it's not impossible.
No,
These are guys from backgrounds that are very similar to a lot of the campers.
Uh-huh. You know, I mean, if you look at Pascal Siakam, he spoke about, just running in the dusty streets of Cameroon. And
Yeah.
I say that with all due respect, you
Yeah,
know
of
what I mean?
course, of
As a
course.
guy who ran through the streets of dusty Lusaka, myself.
A lot of dust around these parts.
I never made it to the NBA,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? And I mean the likes of, all the players that are there, whether they're the American ones, the Australian ones, the African ones, they can talk to these campers and say, once upon a time, I was just like you.
Yeah.
I was watching this league on TV and I really loved the game and I just wanted to get involved and see how far it would take me. And look at me now. I'm playing at that top level and I'm mentoring you. You can do it too.
We've watched a few of these kids come through the ranks at the BWBs over the years.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you've interacted with a couple of them from when they were kids to now the superstars that they are. And the crazy thing about that entire process is it makes you think about when you were a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how you wish that these kinds of
But
opportunities
first of all,
had been
Cyrus, it makes me feel old.
there.
Because I saw
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, Gogi Jeng, and Pascal Siakam as these little scrawny kids.
Yeah.
That, well,
And
Gogi was
now
a bit
there they
big.
are.
but now there they are. These are like stars in
Yeah.
the cities where they play and stars in their countries of origin. And I just remember looking at these little campers and thinking, which one of these guys
Could
is
be
the
the
next
next something,
Jordan,
yeah.
the next Dikembe, the next Hakeem Olajuwon, and there they are.
And I think this is the other thing, because seeing these kids go through this, knowing that you didn't necessarily have those opportunities, maybe we didn't have the skill set at the time, but we always love to think that we did, next MJ. But I think the thing about it is that it gives you the opportunity to dream, and that's what these kinds of camps are about. And making sure that you're making an impression, because it's not just the NBA that you can be dreaming about.
No.
It's going to get a college education.
Absolutely.
And what's been amazing is seeing some of the campers go out and even guys who are at the NBA Academy go out and make their dreams come true in the college circuit. There's been a couple of guys even more recently who are now going to be playing college basketball.
Look at young Kurt Curry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we were looking at that guy as this youngster from the academy, but he's destined for greatness.
No, and you see it. You absolutely see it. And it's not just, the big guys. It's the guys who are supposedly smaller, who've got the skill set has now been bred into them from a very young age.
That's what I wanted to say about Curry, in that he's a god.
Yeah,
and
Kurt Curry is a god.
Just like
That's Kurt Curry Wegscheider.
Yes.
Yeah.
He joins the likes of Emmanuel Mudiay and Frank Ntilikina, because all the time Africa always seemed like this place you come and get these giants.
Yes,
you
yes.
get Dikembe,
The land of giants.
Yeah, you get Hakim, you get Bismarck, you
Ball,
get Joel,
Manute Ball,
Ball, and then now it's like, we got handles too.
And shooting and everything. Pascal showed that. Like when you look at Pascal Siakam's game 1 in the NBA Finals, that really was everything. You could see the coaches who have been behind this boy from the beginning. You can see the guys who've been supporting him from high school all the way through to college to where he ended up in the NBA. The likes of Masai Ujiri, who says, why not? Why not bring this guy in? Why
Yep.
not see what we can do? And mark my words, Pascal Siakam is going to be an All-Star in 2019, 2020.
Cyrus, I'm going to hold you to that.
Please do, because I was surprised he didn't make the cut this year. And I think that had to do, obviously, with the fact that you get a few more star players. But this is an NBA champion who has showed a skill set that is remarkable. He's, most improved player of the year. He's just done some amazing things. And this is what's incredible about where basketball is from the African continent, and also how it's becoming such a global game.
And besides that, Cyrus, I find Pascal Siakam to be very relatable.
Yeah.
He looks like a fun guy. You'd go to a barbecue or a braai with Pascal Siakam.
We could go out and have a meal. He'd be like, look, I only eat pizza in off season or whatever,
He looks like the kind of guy. You could go out to a party, just hang out with Pascal. And I think with all due respect to other players, not to say they're not, but he just strikes me as that kind of guy.
And I think that's what makes him special. And that's what Messiah has spoken about in the past. But I think we'll keep you all updated on postupzone.com around what's happening with all of these basketball events in the African continent, from Hoop Forum all the way through to BWB.
Yep.
We'll give you all the news that you need to know. But let's move on to the WNBA All-Star Game. Kaunda, this is one of the events, like the events of any basketball season is the All-Star Game. And the WNBA All-Star Game is a fantastic showpiece.
Cyrus, I just want to find out 3 things before we get into
Yes.
this. Have you bought the popcorn?
Dude, it's there. It's on lock.
Have you bought the soft drinks?
Well, I'm trying to get off that, so we will have bottles of water.
Your bottles? Oh, Lord. Oh, okay, we can make do with water.
Yeah.
Have you let the troops know?
Yeah, everyone knows. It is on. We're blocking out the schedule. This is what's happening. WNBA All-Star Game this Sunday. It is on.
All right, so Cyrus, we're very excited. You are still Team Deladon.
Yeah.
I'm still Team Wilson. We gave a sort of hint as how we would pick last week.
And now they've gone
and
and
now
done
they've
the
gone and done the
actual
actual selection. So I think let's look at it and see how close we were, and secondly, let's just see how they're going to match up, because this has been interesting.
It really has. I mean, okay, so firstly, let's go back to Asia Wilson's ankle injury,
Ouch.
right? Which means that she's ruled out of the actual All-Star Game itself, and she won't be able to play. But that because she finished so highly in the voting, she still gets to pick the team. That did happen. All of that stuff is still there. She will be involved with the team peripherally, but she won't be playing.
Does she get to suit up?
I mean, look, they'll give her
I mean,
a
the
uniform.
tracksuit.
Yeah.
Does she get the tracksuit?
Yeah,
and
no,
the
she'll
jersey?
get all the gear. She'll
Okay,
get all the
I'm
gear.
just checking. Just
It's
checking.
still Team Wilson.
All right, I'm checking.
All right, so let's go through the picks, because
All
Elena
right.
Deladon, who was the highest vote getter when they were getting all the votes in, got to pick first. So she picked Brittany Griner from the Phoenix Mercury.
Oh,
And I mean, that's a great pick as your number 1 pick.
Brittany Griner, I mean, that, like I always say, she's like, yo, DeMarcus Cousins. I
I'ma
can
take
take
you
you.
out, yeah.
So I can't argue with Brittany Griner.
And then, so, Asia then gets the number 2 pick. She picks Chelsea Gray from the Los Angeles Sparks. That is
Chelsea
a great
Gray
selection.
is a baller.
Yeah. No, we've been talking about her. I mean,
She's a baller.
She's a winner. She got out there. She does her thing. So the number 3 pick went to Deladon. She picked Jewel Lloyd from Seattle Storm.
Joe Lloyd, another baller. Pure hooper. I think that this young lady is gonna be something special in this league.
She definitely.
She might wind up at Sue Bird levels.
No,
I'm putting it
that's
out
high
there.
praise. That is high praise.
Because I've been watching her since she entered the league, and I've been like, wait a minute, Joe
Jewel
Lloyd,
Lloyd.
do your thing, girl, do your thing.
So number 4 pick, Kayla McBride, Las Vegas Aces. That's one of Asia Wilson's
teammates,
teammates.
yeah.
So she's a great pickup. Number 5 pick, Jonquel Jones from the Connecticut
Jonquel
Sun. She goes to Team
Jones.
Deladon. 6th pick, Liz Cambage, another Aces.
Let's pause there.
teammate.
Why do you think Liz Cambage was picked so low?
Look, I think
I expect it to be like 1, 2, 3 pick
well,
at least.
but let's look at it in terms of the players. Let's go through the picks first.
Okay, let's
then
go
we'll
through the picks.
Because number 7 pick to fill out Team Deladon was Kia Nurse from New York.
Kianis, the baller
New York
again.
Liberty. And then the 8th pick, and that was the last of the starters, was Natasha Howard from Seattle Storm.
See, Natasha Howard, there's a two-way player if you ever need one. Natasha Howard,
She's had a great season.
she's got the hands on her. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
Offense, defense.
So in terms of where people ended up, you just got to look at it in terms of the positions that people play, right?
Absolutely.
So if Elena Deladon is going to play small forward, she's going to pick one of the better bigs that she's ever faced, and Brittany Griner has to be a number 1 pick.
Yep.
If it wasn't Griner, it would have been Cambage. That, I think, was the way we'd seen it. So her picking Griner meant, okay, Asia, who now also plays, small forward / center, has to pick somebody. And she's like, well, why should I pick another big when I can go for a guard? Chelsea Gray is that guard. She picks that second. Then, obviously, Deladon goes, oh, you got a guard? Let me tell you, Drew Lloyd is coming to my squad. Okay, fine. I raise your Drew Lloyd and bring you a Kayla McBride. I play with her all the time. So, that's the way the picks go. Then, I think Jonquel Jones over Liz Cambage. Perhaps it was Elena Deladon saying, look, if you want, I'm not going to steal your Aces teammate from you. So I'm going to pick Jonquel Jones, who's fantastic, and that leaves you Liz Cambage.
With Liz Cambage. Well, it makes sense. Because if you told me to pick between JJ and Liz Cambage, I think it's either or.
Yeah.
These two girls, play.
No.
I mean, I say these two women.
No, they play.
They play. So yeah, I see where they went with those picks. I see where they went with
And there
those
were a
picks.
couple of trades as well. But let's finish out the teams, right? So
All right.
the rest of the players in Team Wilson, that is Sylvia Foles,
Diamond
Diamond
DeShields.
DeShields, Ellie Quigley, Tina Charles, Erica Wheeler, Candace Dupree, and Odyssey Sims.
Oh wow.
The rest of Team De La Don,
Christy Tolliver.
you know,
Ooh.
Dewana Bonner, Neko Gumike, Courtney Vandersloot, Nafisa Collier, and Alyssa Thomas. So they're still short like one player because obviously Asia's got to be replaced in the starting lineup. And the trade that happened was Tina Charles went across to Team De La Don and Nafisa Collier who ended up on Team Wilson. And they actually even went and traded the coaches. That was the most amazing thing.
How do you trade coaches, first of all? Let's get into that in a minute. Like,
Look, why not? It's the All-Star Game.
we love you, sir, but
But what was great is that you've got Elena De La Don saying, "Look, I want my coach, and you can have your coach at the Aces."
Oh,
so then they
wow.
went and they swapped their coaches around. So you've got Mike Tybalt on the one side and Bill Lambier on the other side, and they're like, "Okay, fine, we'll take care of our peeps." And I think these are great teams. These are really, really great teams, and it's going to be a fun All-Star Game.
so on the socials, I was Tim Wilson all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Are you still Team De La Don?
Of course. Look, Elena De La Don has been playing some of the best basketball of her career so far this season, so I'm going to back her.
Okay.
I think she's the front runner for MVP this season. I'm a big fan of Asia Wilson,
Yeah, but
but sometimes
does-
experience
does-
is gonna beat youth.
does injury say puts more concrete on your house of De La Don?
Yes, it does. And I'm not even going to use that because I think that even if Asia had been, it's never competitive, right? Because nobody wants to get.
times have changed, my
nobody
dear
wants to get injured.
Times have changed. You've been seeing
But they'll show.
the NBA All-Star Game. It is changing. It's like, oh, okay, no. Before it was only like fourth quarter that we turn
Yeah.
it on. I
No,
think
but
now
people
it's
are
changing
playing.
to the halfway point. They're like, okay, we're gonna warm it up for the first two quarters. Then after that halfway point, it's done. We
But this
turn
is
it
also
on.
where, because pride is at stake. People want to wear these things. And interestingly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So De La Don gets the most votes. She gets to pick which kit she wants to wear, either white or red.
Yep.
She picks the white kit. So she is going to be styling in that flashy white kit that they have for the WNBA All-Star.
Looks beautiful.
Kaunda. So
Yes.
that's happening on Sunday. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff to discuss in the weeks following that in terms of some of the players that we've seen and the movements that we've seen in the NBA.
Yep.
And I think maybe what we do is we say, let's bring a halt to this particular podcast. Save the best for a little later because we want to keep people,
Engaged.
we want you guys to want more. We're not going to give you the whole meal
You are such
and
a tease,
dessert.
Cyrus.
Yeah, that's it.
You are such a tease.
That's it. I ain't gonna lie. So make sure that you're going to postupzone.com. See everything that you need to see on these basketball streets. We'll be bringing it to you.
Absolutely, and even after Basketball Without Borders Africa is done, we're gonna give you some sort of recap. We're gonna get some, some sound bites from there. We're gonna get some pictures, hopefully a couple of videos as well that we can load on the
Yeah, let's
website
see
just
what we
to
can get.
show them what was going on in Senegal.
Because it is red hot there. So thank you for listening. Until next time, it's later.
Peace.